The 2025 BMW i7 M70 doesn't walk into a room quietly. It enters like a slow-moving storm, calm, controlled, and powerful enough to shift the atmosphere around it. This isn't a normal electric sedan. This is BMW's flagship statement, a machine designed not only to push boundaries, but to erase the idea that limits ever existed. When you first stand in front of the i7 M70, the scale of it hits you first, but the feeling it leaves behind, that comes later. The front of this car is a masterpiece of presence. You don't just see the illuminated kidney grille, you feel it. It glows like a symbol carved into something ancient, something significant. The grille isn't aggressive for the sake of aggression, it's assertive in a way that feels earned. The crystal LED headlights stare ahead with a kind of intelligent sharpness, like the car is aware of its own status. Every crease on the hood, every shadow along the bumper, every little contour feels intentionally placed. Nothing looks accidental. This front end doesn't beg for attention, it commands it. Shift to the side, and the sheer elegance becomes even more obvious. The i7 M70 is long, very long, but it carries its length with an effortless confidence that most full-size sedans can only dream of. The flush door handles disappear into the body, the M Performance wheels stand like pieces of moving sculpture, and the shoulder line flows like a single brushstroke running across a canvas. Even the chrome elements feel refined, not flashy. BMW didn't go for look at me styling, they went for remember me styling. And that difference matters. But the weight of its luxury truly hits when you step inside. The cabin doesn't feel like a car interior at all. It feels like stepping into a private sanctuary floating above the world. The silence is the first thing that grabs your attention. Electric cars are quiet, but the i7 M70 takes quiet to a new level. You could whisper inside this cabin and hear your voice reflect gently off the crystal details. You could close the door and the world simply disappears. The materials surrounding you feel handmade rather than manufactured. Soft touch leather, illuminated trim that glows like fine jewelry, curved displays that merge into the dashboard like light flowing along a river. The ambient lighting wraps around your senses, shifting mood and atmosphere with the slightest change. It feels like sitting in an ultramodern lounge curated for one person, you. Then there's the rear seat, the place where BMW stops competing and simply shows off. You sink into the reclining executive lounge seats, and before you even adjust your posture, the 31-inch 8K theater screen folds down from the roof like you just stepped into a private cinema. You're not a passenger here, you're an audience of one, with footrests, massage programs, heated surfaces, and a sound system that makes every note feel like it's being played right beside you. The back seat becomes the real destination. BMW didn't just want to beat their rivals, they wanted to show what luxury feels like when it's designed for absolute indulgence. Walking to the rear of the i7 M70, the design remains calm, confident, and beautifully restrained. The taillights look as if they were drawn in a single elegant stroke, clean and modern. There's no oversized badging, no design clutter. BMW trusts the car's shape, and honestly, it's enough. The rear stance has a quiet dominance to it, as if the car doesn't need to explain itself. But luxury is only half the story. The i7 M70 hides a level of performance that makes everything you thought about big luxury sedans feel outdated. With up to 650 horsepower and around 1,100 newton-meters of torque, this massive electric limousine launches like a supercar. The acceleration isn't just fast, it's instant, pure, and shockingly effortless. One moment you're gliding silently, and the next moment you're being pushed into your seat by a wave of torque that feels almost unreal. The craziest part? It doesn't feel chaotic. There's no wheel spin, no noise, no hesitation. Just clean, controlled force. The adaptive air suspension reads the road beneath you like it's scanning ahead through time. The car adjusts, shifts, stabilizes, and smoothens everything. You don't just move, you glide. It's the kind of performance where you don't measure speed in numbers, you measure it by how it makes your heart skip for a moment. The steering is soft but precise, the body roll nearly non-existent, and the cabin remains so silent you'd think the world outside had paused. BMW didn't want to make the fastest electric luxury sedan. They wanted to make the most complete one. Something that balances comfort and emotion, technology and warmth, power and calm. And then you realize something. The i7 M70 doesn't want to be compared to anything else. Not the S-Class, not the EQS, not a Lucid, not even the traditional BMW 7 Series. This is BMW rewriting their own identity. This is the moment where luxury becomes electric without losing its soul. BMW didn't build this car to impress the streets, they built it to impress the person sitting inside. In the end, the 2025 BMW i7 M70 feels like a future where technology and emotion finally meet each other halfway. Where luxury isn't loud, but deeply personal. Where speed doesn't roar, it whispers. And where comfort doesn't pamper you, it transforms you. Before I end this, I want to know something. If you had the choice, would you pick the BMW i7 M70, or would you go for the Mercedes EQS, or maybe the Lucid Air Sapphire? Tell me in the comments. And if you want more cinematic and premium car reviews every single day, make sure to subscribe.